WBTV investigation comparing public orders between North and South Carolina's medical boards finds a glaring difference in how each board disciplines doctors.
Investigative reporter Naomi Coles is on your side with the information being kept secret from you. Naomi?
Jamie, I've been digging for months into each board's records and found that North Carolina issues public discipline for things like professional misconduct or substance abuse at a rate between 4 and 8 times more often than South Carolina. The South Carolina board publicly disciplined just 23 doctors in 2022. North Carolina, in contrast, 175 public disciplines. Now, last year, South Carolina issued just public corrections in 13 cases. When taking the number of doctors in each state into account, North Carolina is taking public action between 4 and 8 times as often. The South Carolina board told me that's because the laws in their state effectively tie their hands. What does all of this mean for you? At 11 o'clock, I'll tell you about a doctor still practicing in South Carolina who was sued 15 times for operating on patients while struggling with alcohol abuse. You wouldn't know any of that by looking at a South Carolina license online. Jamie and Siobhan?
We will look for that tonight at 11 o'clock. Naomi, thank you. Still to come here.